Hello, I'm Osage, the founder of Yochaa mobile app. In case you've never heard of Yochaa, if it's your first time here, for instance, quick introduction. Yochaa is a mobile application that equips investors with tools to connect with other investors or stock market analysts, tools to analyze stock market data and guide them to make informed investment decisions. Now, Yochaa has actually been around for about 5 or 6 years, but this is the first time we're making a product video. It's the first time I'm actually speaking about Yochaa. And as it is the first time, I think it'll be useful to just take maybe a minute to explain the background story of Yochaa. I think explaining the background is quite important to help you understand why we're so deeply invested in this product and why we believe if you come on this platform, it's going to really take you a long way in trying to achieve your investment goals. My background is in electrical engineering, but I was lucky early in my career to make a detour to software development, specifically writing mobile software for investment banks. And one of the things I found out when I started this new career was just the power of financial markets in creating wealth. Now, this was not something I grew up with a knowledge of. Growing up, going to school, the goal was get a good job, always get a better paying job, build up your pension, and no one actually tells you the power of financial markets. So when I saw this, I felt like this was a very useful tool for creating wealth. But more importantly, I always felt I owed Nigeria quite a lot. I wanted to create something as an engineer that would be useful. And this was the perfect opportunity for me to use the skills I had to create a product that would actually be useful to Nigerians, not just in the process of creating wealth, but more like in creating that awareness and the education to get people to understand that just a 9 to 5 is not going to be enough for a retirement plan. So this is the background, general background behind Yochaa. And like I said, we've been working on this product for over 5 years. And what I'm going to be introducing to you today is a product that has been iterated very many times. We've gone through 5 years of constant refinement based on feedback we've gotten from a lot of you users. And our goal has always been to create a product that would guide investors, that would in a way be a way of life such that people can get into investing no matter what level you are in the investing hierarchy, either a seasoned investor or a novice investor. We wanted to create a product that will be able to guide you from whatever level you are to help you build, create wealth and take advantage of the opportunities that exist in the financial market. And that is why when we think of what our slogan is that we've designed this product to give you more. And so without further ado, I'm going to be telling you a lot of the new exciting features we're going to be showing you in the new version of Yochaa. Okay, so now that we got the introduction out of the way, this is the part of this presentation I'm most excited about because this is where I'll actually get to show you what Yochaa does. Now, one of the things they tell you in school is that when you're doing a presentation, you should never do live demos because it's dangerous, things could go wrong. But there are times when we like to live on the edge. So today we're going to be doing only live demos. We're going to be showing you the real product. We're going to be doing transactions and we're going to just show you how it works so that you get a real feel of how this product works and how much effort and love and time we have put into it based on the feedback you provided and based on our knowledge in the investing space. So the first feature I'm going to be talking to you about is a feature we call Yochaa Lounge. Now, Yochaa Lounge is a place, if you think about it like a lounge, it's a place for investors and analysts to meet up and connect. Now, the interesting thing is that you probably already, if you're an investor, you probably already subconsciously look for places like that. Maybe you're in an investment WhatsApp group where you look for other investors to bounce off ideas from, or you're in a group that is led by an analyst. Now, one of the things we tried to do with Yochaa Lounge was create an environment where not only can people chat, but we provide actual tools that make investing speaking the investing language natural. Because if you're in a WhatsApp group or a Telegram group where you're talking about investment ideas, you might want to talk about Apple. You have to go out to a different app, take a screenshot, include the charts and so on. But with Yochaa Lounge, we've created an environment where first, the people you meet there by default are people who have similar goals as you. We also have seasoned analysts who can lead discussions. And then more importantly, it's built from ground up with natural tools to help you connect, natural tools to help you speak the investing language. I know I'm talking a bit too much now, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you this product live. So Yochaa Lounge is a place for investors to hang out, meet up with other investors and analysts. At first glance, the interface looks like a WhatsApp or Telegram channel app, but that's where the similarity ends. So at the top here, we have a filter for open discussions. As you can see, we currently have 3 open discussions and 1 closed discussion. If I just jump right in now to one of the channels, what stocks are we buying? So you immediately begin to see some of the additional features here. So at the top, we have this favorites. This enables you just tag conversations you think are useful so you can go back to them at some point later. So if I were to mark that as a favorite and I tap on my favorite, all the chats I've marked as favorites appear right there. Something else we have here is a strategy updates. From time to time, we do invite analysts to come on the channel to talk about maybe their investment strategy and share their investing goals. Now, when that happens, you're going to have people making comments, and there are going to be times when you just want to strip out all that noise to focus on just what the strategy updates from the analyst is. So if I tap on that, you'll immediately see that everything is specifically from this user. So it's still all the conversations, but imagine filtering out a conversation stream from a stream with a lot of comments so that you can focus on what is really important to you. And the final tab we have at the top here is suggestions. So again, there are times we invite analysts to make suggestions. As you can see here, we have a suggestion for a growth stock. A term you'll hear us use a lot on Yochaa is stripping out noise. If you've ever read an analyst report, you'll understand why some people don't really take time to read them, because some of them could be very rich in information, but it might be information that users cannot act on. So what we've done here and what we do with suggestions is that we strip out all that noise, all that jargon, so that you can focus on what is really important, information you could act on. So in this case, the analyst had recommended a growth stock, Guinness as a growth stock. We have a quick overview of the current price and the yield, dividend yield, and then just the key points from the analyst report. Now, of course, you can still go into the full detail to see what the analyst said, but the point here is that for some users, a summary like this will be enough for them to act on and save reading lots of pages when all the useful information is condensed. So that's a different one for a growth stock. If we go back to the main messages, a few other things to show that you can do here. For instance, you'll see when you reply to a message, it is highlighted in blue like this. But one cool thing I want you to see here is the way you can go back to all the comments. So this user has responded to a comment made by another user. When I tap on that, it brings out all the replies again in a very clean thread. So you can see the original comment here, and every comment that has come after that is highlighted just in a straight line. So this makes it easy when you're trying to filter out comments to a particular thread. If we jump out of that now to go to a different conversation. So this new conversation I'm looking at here is US stock market investors. Again, the interface is the same. You'll see that the top here is slightly different because we haven't had any analyst recommendations here. So that's why we have only those two options. But one thing I want to bring to your knowledge is at the bottom here, when you try to have a conversation, when you try to respond to a comment or make a comment, we've provided a few other tools here. So the first one is a snapshot of the portfolio, and then share investing goal. Investing goal is a new feature which we're going to talk about later, but we'll just show you very quickly what you can do here. So why would you want to share your portfolio snapshot? Well, first, this was suggested by a lot of users that as a feature they would like on the new version of Yochaa Lounge. But from my experience, it's also something that is quite common. From time to time, people take snapshots of their portfolio and share it just to get feedback. Motivations could be different. So in this case, what we've done is provide a way to share this securely. So if you look at that now, I have a US portfolio and a Nigerian portfolio. So if I choose to share my US portfolio, you can see that all the sensitive information is hidden, because for us, believe privacy is very, very important. We don't want to share a portfolio and accidentally show that you have £1 million and then everyone knows your business. So what we've done is that we hide all the sensitive information and we're only sharing the percentage gains here, as you can see. Now, the solution that currently exists for something like this in WhatsApp groups is for people to take a snapshot and then go into a photo editing app and then put black marks over the information. And there'll be cases where you'd forget to remove some information, but Yochaa just strips all that out. So I could just tap on that now to share my portfolio. You can see here, it shows boldly what the gain on the portfolio is, and then it shows all the stocks that I currently have on my portfolio. The use for this for different people would be if you wanted to get feedback from other users on the lounge on what they think about your portfolio composition. In other cases, it might be to actually just inspire other people and tell them, this is what I have, this is how well it's doing. And one of the features we're bringing up on Yochaa is to invite analysts. So we have sessions where analysts could give you feedback on your portfolio. So as you can see, I have shared my portfolio. One of the features we provide in Yochaa in trying to create an integrated environment, a cohesive environment, is that whenever you make a reference to any stock, you can actually jump right into the stock details from there. So as an example, on my portfolio, I have Apple, Amazon, JP Morgan. If I were to tap on that immediately takes me into the Apple analytics page. Now, I know it's a slight deviation from talking on Yochaa Lounge, but I'll quickly just tell you what we have on the analytics. So first is we provide the charts for the last 10 years. So every stock on Yochaa, we provide the stock chart for the last 10 years. As you can see, Apple is almost an exponential curve. And then we do have performance history. What we have done with performance history is to basically capture and condense the most useful information on how the growth has performed over 8 time periods. So we have 1 week, 1 month, 3 months. So I can see immediately that Apple has gained 274% in the last 5 years. Now, income investors usually like to see how well a company is performing in terms of its dividend payments. So here we capture the dividend yield for the company for, again, the last 6 years in the case of Apple. And one of the things we do include here is a notification at the top. So if there's an upcoming dividend payment, we'd include that to show that something is happening soon. And then last thing I'll quickly like to show you here is financial performance. Now, financial performance is very, very useful when you're considering what stocks to buy, but it's also a very painful process trying to get information out of financial reports. And what we've done with Yochaa is we've provided a really, really streamlined way of searching through financial reports. So here you can see the annual report for annual performance for the last 5 years for Apple. I could jump there like that and show the quarterly performance instead. Something else we try to do is, besides just showing the chart, at the bottom here, you could choose different years to drill into more detail. So that's the revenue and income for Apple in 2021. If I jump in there, it changes and shows the value for the different years. And this, we believe, is a very useful way to analyze stock market and include in your toolbox in trying to make guided investment decisions. So if we jump back there, that takes us back to Yochaa Lounge. So that's Yochaa Lounge in a nutshell. We really hope you'd enjoy using it. We've added a few features, like I said. So that was Yochaa Lounge. It's a feature we believe you would love. The feedback from that so far has been great, and we believe that as more people get on the platform, it's going to have a lot more rich information, and people are going to love it more. Now, the next feature we're going to talk about is a very simple one, which we call Goals Tracker. Again, we've built this based on feedback and based on our knowledge of investing. One of the biggest problems investors face sometimes, you might have heard the term emotional investing, is that people panic when there's news and then they decide to either sell off too quickly or buy in panic. Now, what Goals does in Yochaa is that it helps provide some level of stability. So the way it works, the Goals Tracker, is that as soon as you make a purchase, it gives you an interface that allows you choose what your goal or your strategy for that investment is. So you could decide at what price you'd like to sell. You could decide if you're buying to earn dividends or whatever the goal is. But even though it's a simple, what it effectively does is that it converts all your investment strategy into a simple to-do list. And that way, if there is a lot of panic, you can always go back and remember what you had in mind when you purchased it. And if you haven't reached that strategy, it's a lot easier to decide not to sell or decide to hold a bit longer. One of the problems that people face based on the feedback we've gotten is that if you don't have a goal, if you haven't said why you made a particular purchase, when the panic starts, you don't have any reference. And this is one of the reasons why we designed Goals Tracker. Again, we believe it to be a lot easier if you actually see this feature in action. So let's show you. So to navigate to the Goals Tracker, the entry point is from the portfolio page. So you can see that top button there. When you tap on it, it immediately shows you your goals in a to-do list. First is a vision. Now, we believe it's important to have a vision for your investment, and that's what this is for. This basically is a summary of what investing vision you have. Now, having a vision for your investment is very helpful because from time to time, you can come back to remember why you started the process, to remember what your strategy is, and then you don't get swayed by emotions. The goals are color-coded to make it easy for you to know how well you're performing in terms of hitting your investment goals. So as you can see here, Amazon is marked as green. It's a completed goal, but it's marked as green. I had a target to sell at a profit of $200. I bought at $112. I sold it at less than $200, but I made a profit. But that is nicely tracked here. On the other hand, I made a loss when I sold my Apple shares, and I sold in order to limit my losses. So this is one of the things we try to do such that you have a good knowledge of why you've done what you've done and how well you're performing. JP Morgan, on the other hand, is still marked as gray because it's not been edited. If I were to complete this goal now, I'll just need to tap on that and select one of these options. So if I received a dividend payment, I could actually just track that and say how much dividend payment I received. It's just a random number. Update. And it now says, oh, I received dividend payment since the purchase was made. And this gives you a good idea of how well you're doing and you're not swayed by emotions. That is the Goals Tracker. Okay, so that was Goals Tracker. I hope that would prove useful in helping you keep your emotions in check and less prone to emotional investing. Now, the next feature we're going to talk to you about is one of the oldest features in Yochaa, but it's one of the most loved features. Now, this feature is what we call the heat map. The heat map is a bit difficult to describe, so for this one, I think it's just best for us to show you right there, action. As mentioned earlier, the heat map is one of the most loved features of Yochaa. The heat map basically just gives you a color coding of how well the market is performing. So in this case, we can see the US market performance. Immediately, the darker the green, the bigger the gain. So as you can see as an example, Netflix has gained 7.9% today. You could quickly navigate to check the gains over different periods of time. So that's the performance in the last 1 month, performance in the last 1 year. You could sort to flip in a different direction and know which companies are not doing very well in the last 1 year. The same way, you can quickly jump to the Nigerian stock market. It's interesting, you see some big gains here. Academy has gained 342%, not too bad over the last year. Now, up here, you could have a few stocks you've selected. I haven't selected anything here, but you can imagine putting your favorite stocks here so that without the moment you open it, the color tells you how much money has come into your account that day. So this is a feature that users love very much. One feature that some users have told us they didn't know existed was the filter on the heat map here for Nigerian stocks. So when you do that, you can actually have a dividend heat map as well. Immediately, I can tell how well the different Nigerian stocks are performing in terms of dividend payment. And this can give you over different periods of time. So that's how the company that's paid the most dividend in 2022. So the heat map is right there. It's one of our oldest features, still holding on strong. People love it more. The new additions we've had this year, of course, is to add favorites to the heat map. We hope you'd love it, and we look forward to you trying out these features and to give us your feedback. So next feature is Portfolio Tracker. This was first released about 6 months ago. The Portfolio Tracker, multiple Portfolio Tracker, allows you to track your investments with different brokerage firms. So in other words, you don't need to have multiple apps to track your different stock portfolio. Just put in the numbers on Yochaa and we take control from there. Again, this is one of those features that is best explained by doing a demo. So I'm going to show you that now. So multiple portfolio tracker enables you to track your investments with different stock brokerage firms. You can see we have 3 different trackers, tracker 1. So in this case, I'm using the first tracker to track my Nigerian stocks with a different brokerage firm. All I had to do here was just enter each stock I owned and at what price. And now I can immediately see how well my portfolio with that brokerage firm is performing. So Yochaa is the only app you need. You don't need to get any other app. Just if we come here, for instance, I can navigate very quickly to see the gain for each stock, how much of it I hold. My second tracker is for tracking US stocks. Again, it could either be stocks you hold with a different firm or just a trial portfolio. You're trying things out to see how your portfolio performs if you had purchased a particular stock. And then, of course, you can hide the details so that someone who's looking over your shoulder doesn't see how much money you have. And then there's a third one. In this case, we don't have any stocks added yet. If I was going to add any stock to this, I just simply tap on add shares. I can either search or just scroll through. So if I wanted to add Apple shares, for instance, I could just tap and say, okay, how much Apple shares did I purchase? Let's say I bought 10 Apple shares at a purchase price of $100. It's just a test. So that's going to immediately show me how much I have, how much gain I've made, based on today's price change. And from that point on, it tracks it. You can add as many as you want. You can delete edit and add more shares. So if I bought more Apple shares, I'll need to do is just tap on that again, and I bought another 120 shares for, let's say, $200. In this case, it's going to automatically calculate. So you can see now the total gain is a loss of 23%. But this is just to show you what you could do, the power that Yochaa gives you to be able to track your portfolios on different platforms. And of course, you have your own portfolio. So in this case, this is my own live portfolio of US stocks on Yochaa. It's the last feature I'm going to show you before we go over. So we've showed you different features of Yochaa, and we're really hoping you'd love them. We can't wait for you to get your hands on the new version of the app so you can try this out for yourself. We'd love to hear your feedback. We're just going to do one final demo that shows how all of this fits together, because we believe that Yochaa tries to create different investment journeys, for different types of investors. So you're going to have some users who start their journey on the lounge. They meet up with other people, have conversations, listen to what the analysts are saying, and then from the lounge, they do the analytics, and then they decide to invest in different stocks, set their goals, share their goals on the lounge, just to show people how they're doing and to get feedback. And then there are also other investors who start their journey from the heat map. You're going to have investors who look at the heat map, see how well the stocks are performing, make their choices from there, not even bother with the lounge, and straight up invest and track their investments on the portfolio tracker. And then of course you might have other investors who come to Yochaa for just the tracker feature, the multiple portfolio tracker. No matter the type of investor you are, we believe there's something in Yochaa for you. And like I said, this is just the beginning of this journey. Our goal, right, is that we want to constantly give you more. We want to hear from you. We want to get feedback. We want to understand what your pain points are and what you're excited about, so we can constantly make improvements. So we're going to do one final demo where we just show you the different features. For instance, because a lot of things have not been captured, one very useful feature we have is an ability for you to choose your transaction cost. For instance, we have a feature to accommodate for different types of investors based on how much you're investing in the US stocks. You can choose your transaction cost. So we're going to do one more demo now, and we'll come back to you after that demo. Thank you. So this video is to just show you all the features. We don't think it's possible to capture everything in a demo video, but we're going to try our best just to see the different journeys. Before I start that though, I'm just going to quickly show you the portfolio, because this is something I haven't spoken about yet. Now, as you're aware, you can now invest in US stocks on Yochaa. Now, the portfolio page has these two features, these two buttons here for you to quickly navigate between your Nigerian brokerage account and your US brokerage account. So I tap on that and it's immediately going to show me my Nigerian portfolio. I tap on that, switches back to US. So we believe that this interface makes it easy for you to quickly navigate and see how well your different portfolios are performing. We have a few buttons up here to hide or show what your investment is worth, depending on, imagine if you were on a train and you didn't want someone to see how well your portfolio is performing, you could tap on that. Now, anywhere in Yochaa you see this icon, it means you could actually share that on the lounge. So if I were to tap on this, I'll be able to share my portfolio on the lounge. So I do that. So that's been shared. So there's a dedicated channel there where you share it. So top left here, which is visible, always visible on Yochaa app, that takes you to the dashboard. So from the dashboard, you could quickly navigate to see all your transactions or your wallet. So if I went in here, I could see my US transactions. Right now, these are the completed transactions. You could view your statements. So different tax forms, trade confirmation statements, you could view by going here. But if we go back here, this gives you access to the wallet. So by tapping on this, I can see how much my account balance is, what transactions I've done in the past, top up on Yochaa is quite, I don't want to say too much. I would like you to try it out, but it works in minutes, and the feedback we've gotten from this has been awesome. Withdrawal is pretty much the same. You have the amount you can withdraw there. As you type in how much you want to withdraw, it immediately calculates what the equivalent is, and you get the money paid into your account within minutes. So this is one thing we're really excited about. We can't wait for you guys to try your hands on this. And then in terms of the trading, we've made quite a few changes in the way users actually trade. So as an example, I'm going to go into Apple. So it looks like a normal trading app where you can buy and sell. So if I were to buy Apple shares now, something very useful would like to bring to your attention here, or quite interesting, is just the ability for you to choose your transaction cost. So right here, we have a feature called the variable transaction, flexible transaction charges. So you can actually decide based on what type of, how much you're investing, what your transactions would be, and also what features you're interested in. So this is one thing we can't wait for you to try your hands on. Finally, if I were to go into the trade feature here, you can decide to make a market order or a limit order. If this was a sell transaction, we have an extra option there, which is a stop loss order. So you could actually place stop loss orders, which is a feature. It might be a bit of an advanced feature, but a lot of users have asked for this, and we're really excited we've been able to present that on the Yochaa app. So how does the buy transaction work? There's one more feature there to show you. So let's assume I wanted to place a limit order. I've chosen a limit order. I select my limit price of $10. In my dreams, Apple is not $10, but let's just, for the sake of this demo, I put $10 and I wanted to buy 3 shares of Apple. At this point, I can decide that, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and I complete the transaction. One of the things that happens, which is one of the features we've worked on, is that as soon as you make a transaction, it immediately provides the UI for you to enter your goal. Now, the best point for you to set your investing goal is when you're actually making that investment. So as you can see, we've come up with some predetermined values. So you could say, oh, I'm buying for long-term investment. I'm buying so that I can take profit when the price reaches $200, or I'm buying to reduce average cost, or you can just type in whatever you want. So the moment you say done, that transaction is done, but this new goal is going to be available on your goals tracker. And that is one of the things we wanted to show you here. So you can see on the goals tracker that this new Apple transaction is right there. And then you could set reminders or triggers to tell you when that price is reached. So we really hope you'd love to try Yochaa on. These are features we've worked on. Like I said, over the last few years, we have constantly condensed the information we received from users to get to this point. We're quite excited about it, and this is why we've decided to do a video this time. And we can't wait for you to try your hands on it, to get the feedback and to hear from you so we can get more ideas on how we could improve. So that's it. Thank you so much for listening. We really hope you're going to love those features. We appreciate your time. We appreciate the support you've been giving us over the years, and we believe this is a turning point for the product. And like I had said earlier, we can't wait for you to give us your feedback. All I'm just asking now is please share this video and talk to your friends about Yochaa, but more importantly, go to the App Store now to download Yochaa. You can download it on the App Store or the Google Play Store, and can't wait to hear from you. Thank you so much.